I do think it's important to have empathy for the fact that if you've been taken advantage of on a situation like this, you're most likely not going to approach this situation with the utmost humility. I think it's hard to be humble when you're protecting yourself.
If you're overly open and you are listening to everyone, gain some trust issues. Let's bring up some trust issues here. If you're super closed off and you're trying to pretend to be more successful than you are, and you're really guarded, you might want to increase the humility and the curiosity.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, for episode number 1804, what makes somebody coachable? I had a podcast breakthrough session today, as I spoke about in Freestyle Friday, and this is the same individual that I was talking about. Podcast breakthrough sessions are free 30-minute sessions where anybody can bring questions. They can bring anything I can do to add value to them, their podcast, their journey, whatever. And they're scheduled for 30 minutes. I was on one today for an hour and 4 minutes. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. I did not want it to end. I was having a blast. It was amazing because the person that showed up was humble and they were extremely coachable and they had great questions and they just wanted to learn. There are other ones that I've been on where the second it starts, I can tell the person either just doesn't want to be there. You didn't have to come. I invited you and you said yes and cool, awesome. But that's never fun. So anytime I get an awesome human on the other side of the Zoom machine like I did today, there's always a bunch of lessons there. And it's very appropriate that we're doing the episode because I suggested he do something. He said, how do I become a better speaker? And I said, one of the things that worked really well for me was doing a 1-minute Instagram story every day. Like I did one every day for a year.
Yeah, I remember that, man. It feels like forever ago. It
does feel like forever ago. I said, that helped me a ton because as long-winded as I can be, it also is really good because you have to take something and break it into a 1-minute segment. He already did it. He did it and tagged me in it like an hour later. Because I was talking to him about the awareness implementation gap. I said, you're never going to not think enough. You're very intelligent. I said, do not let your intelligence hurt your consistency. Mm-hmm. You're very intelligent. You're going to be fine from that front. We need to get you taking more action. And he was very, very coachable. So I thought that would make for a cool episode because, I don't know, I think I like to think I'm coachable. I like to think Alan is coachable. If that's something of value that has helped us grow and accomplish in any way, it's worth sharing.
I had a coaching session last week with someone who was very, very, very honest with herself, and she said, and I know she wouldn't mind me sharing this, but it's anonymous, so it doesn't matter. She said, the only reason I've gotten here is because of, a lot of the reason is because of you. And I said, I appreciate that. Give yourself, of course, some credit, but my point in that is, I said, I want you to take out a piece of paper. Let's write down your superpowers. Let's write down your top 5 superpowers. Number 1, you're coachable. Super, super coachable. This person, I've helped her with her system of success for years, and she just never misses. She's been habit tracking for probably 5 years without missing. That's a big deal.
For sure.
Everyone out there, imagine habit tracking for 5 years, what you could accomplish. It would blow your mind. It's awesome. Okay, so super coachable. Number 2, work ethic. Work ethic. Number 3, humility. I think humility and coachability are kind of similar. If you don't have humility, you're not going to listen to any coach, most likely. And then the 4th one was grit. And then I don't know the difference between resilience and grit. I think grit is when you choose to put yourself in pain for a greater end state. I think resilience is enduring pain that's happening to you. But those were the 5. And ultimately, I said, write those somewhere you can see them. And just remember, this is who you are and this is how you got here. And if you stick to those, you're going to blow your own mind. Because truth be told, this person, she's admitted this, she doesn't believe in herself that much. Guess what? That's okay. That's okay if you have the right people in your corner and you focus on those 5. So I said underneath it, write kryptonite. Kryptonite is, I don't believe in myself. lack of self-belief. You can build it. State-proof self-assign. We have a formula. You can build it. So coachability is your ability to consistently take feedback, sift through it, figure out what's true for you, and then take action.
I think there's curiosity there too. I like curiosity.
Yeah.
The questions were just... I had another really good... it was a coaching call. I'm losing my voice.
Our voices are going.
Yeah, it's not
it's
great.
because of the 14 episodes this week, man. My voice is struggle bus.
Yeah, understandable. I had a coaching call yesterday with an amazing human, and just the questions. There's the... It takes humility to know you have a call coming up and then to prep for it. To say, all right, let me take 15 minutes or a half hour, an hour, and let me really think about how I want the call to go. Versus just showing up and saying, all right, let's see what is going to be provided to me today. It's like as a student, I guess student is probably the best phrase. I don't mean that. Well, yeah, I guess I'm the teacher in this example. Going in with a mindset of it's my job to extract value out of this person versus what am I going to get here? I think that's a really good way to look at it. How do I extract as much value as possible? And I always love when people bring questions because I'm not a natural teacher. I don't really want to pull up a whiteboard and make a lesson. I want to know what you want to know, or I want to become aware of what you're not currently aware of yet, and then we can dive in. I like that. But I was really impressed with the gentleman that I had the opportunity to do the podcast breakthrough session with because he was just super, super, super coachable. Super, super humble, hungry, curious, appreciative, and just appreciative. From the second we started the call, I said, I'm going to do this as long as he stays. I will do this call for as long as he stays on the other line. I don't care.
Nice.
I don't care if it's 2 hours until my next... It doesn't matter. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I don't feel great. Doesn't matter.
Let's contrast that with someone who, the moment you get on, you're like, oof.
I had
a podcast pre-call, sorry. Yeah. I had a podcast pre-call earlier, and it wasn't misaligned. It was right on the line, though. It's, do you really want me to be here? You're not really vibing with me. And I said to her, if you don't want to do this interview, we don't have to. Genuinely. Like, I want to make sure, I don't want to do this unless you want to do it. If it's going to be a good episode, you have to want to interview me. If you don't want to interview me, this is going to be terrible. It's going to be a waste of my time and a waste of your time. And she's like, no, I really do. It's, well, okay, then let's do it. But ultimately, that curiosity piece does have to be there.
Yeah, for sure.
And when I got on, I knew it would be an uphill, energetic battle. I knew it was, you're not sure about me. And that's okay. But I'm not going to sit here and dance for you. I'm not going to try to prove myself to you because, and again, that's a fine line because when you do need to be appreciative. And I need to come correct and I need to be appreciative for the opportunity. I said, listen, I appreciate it. I started listening to podcasts 9 years ago. They really helped me change my life. I'm here to do two things. I'm here to spread self-improvement, which is ultimately the mission, holistic self-improvement. And I'm here to practice my craft. And I really appreciate it. The name of the show is Transformational Thinking, something along those lines. And transformational thinking is something I feel like I've done my entire life. And I'm excited. Let's rock and roll. And I just want to make sure you're excited too. So like halfway through the sort of pre-call interview, I asked her, are you sure you want to do this? Because I don't want you to feel like you have to. If this feels like a chore, let's not. Right? And so what's the difference there? What is the difference? And again, that person, we're good. We're going to do the interview and it ended up being aligned. But there have been ones that it was just, it's very clear. You don't really want to be here. And
well, I think it's almost like a closed off energy. I did a podcast pre-call with someone and I said, all right, what is your biggest struggle and what can I help you with? And they said, oh, I don't have any problems or any struggles or anything. I was like, okay, well, I got nothing for you then. I need something to work. I need.
I don't have any struggles.
Yeah. It was basically like, what do you want to work on the most that you're not? Well, where are you?
This was a coaching session?
No, this is a breakthrough session. Breakthrough session. Podcast breakthrough session. I mean, it's a free coaching session. Is what a breakthrough session really is. And it was that. I'm not really struggling with anything. I'm hitting all my goals. Well, you told me that you wanted to impact more people, so what's going on with that? It was brutal. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. There's not much
Can we
I
go
can...
underneath why it was terrible? So this person obviously didn't have a ton of humility.
and again,
we're not bashing people. We're studying.
Yeah. No, we're studying. I think the person didn't have a ton of humility, and I also think they were closed off. It was almost like I guess this is humility. They did not want me to see behind the scenes into how much they were actually struggling. I know there's tells. I can tell. I can tell by looking at things, and I was interviewed and I did research. I can tell. I know what's going on behind the scenes more than you probably think I do. Not all this stuff. But it was, let me keep everything close to myself and not share it. And it's the complete opposite of somebody who comes with 25 questions, who literally says, I'm here to learn and I'm here to grow. And I know in order for me to learn and for me to grow and for you to help me do that, you need to know as much of the truth as I'm comfortable sharing.
NLU listener, what is happening? I just wanted to jump in here and let you know, if you want to get to the next level faster, we have a free virtual monthly meetup at the first Thursday of every month, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can connect with like-minded people and become a bigger part of this amazing global community. The link to register will be in the show notes. You remember when we interviewed Evan Carmichael way back and he stayed for an hour?
Yes.
He allocated 20 minutes. He stayed for an hour. Do you think that that's what he sensed is just coachability?
It was that, and it was questions. He said that. He said that when I went to Toronto. We asked really good questions. He could tell that we did our research, and we were curious, and yeah, we were interested. We just wanted to talk. We wanted to have deep talks. We wanted to learn more. Yeah, it was all that.
That coachability piece is huge. Here's the challenge, playing the empathetic view of that person that you're referring to who was closed off. It's almost, okay, that person might have been bullied when they did share that they were struggling.
100%.
So then they show up in the coaching call trying to pretend that they have it all together. And, okay, well, if you have it all together, then what are we doing here? I can't help you then.
Or they thought I was going to try to sell them on something, which is
also probably what's happened.
Yeah, also completely understandable. If you come in and say, well, I'm really struggling with blank, and I say, perfect. Let me introduce you to our 7-step system to overcome what you're struggling with. And I don't do that. That's not, it literally says in the email, this is not a sales call. I'm not going to sell you anything. I just like talking to podcasters. And I wish I had somebody who wanted to offer me a free call in the beginning that knew stuff. I won't say I know everything because I don't, but that knew stuff. So I do think it's important to have empathy for the fact that if you've been taken advantage of on a situation like this, you're most likely not going to approach this situation with the utmost humility. I think it's hard to be humble when you're protecting yourself. Understandably so.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. But being coachable goes a long way. It's not just about, I'm not saying listen to this episode and then figure out what it takes to be coachable and then work with Kevin and Alan, because now you know you're coachable and they're going to want to work. I'm not saying that. There's so many parallels between being coachable and being a good leader and being a good team member and being somebody who other people want to be around. And I would love to spend time with the person I talked to today.
There's one client that you and I both coach, and we'll keep it anonymous. Shout out to you if you're listening. You probably know who I'm talking about.
I had a call with this person yesterday.
Nice. And Amy has a call with her tonight as well. That. So she gets coached by 3 people on the NLU team. Talk about just being poured into.
Yeah.
And talk about coachable. It's just awesome. Those calls are awesome. Love it. Let's go. And listen. Get off my horse for a second. We've made every mistake for 7 years.
For sure.
Honestly, 9. I started my first business when I was 22, 23, 22, 21. I don't know. It was back in college. Made every mistake that failed. We won business competitions and I still failed. And then corporate, and then car accident 26. 9 years ago, I started my own business. So we have 9 years of every single day. I have gone 9 years without a single day of, there's not been one single day in 9 years where I didn't think about how to succeed in my own business. That doesn't mean I was spending all day, every day doing that, but not a single day has gone by in 9 years, almost 10.
Yeah.
Because I'm almost 36. Whoa. Where I haven't thought about how to succeed in starting and growing and scaling my own business, our business. We've made so many mistakes. We can help. But I get it, because if you come guarded.
Well, and everybody says that. Everybody says they can help.
Everybody says that, yeah. I know.
And the truth is, I think everybody can to a degree, but degrees are different. Depends.
Yeah,
how much.
and, well, the other side of that coin is I actually regret some of the. I was overly coachable, I think.
I would say so.
Early on, I took advice from everybody. That was a huge mistake, Kev.
I did too.
I had the opposite problem. I mean, most people, I think, early in the journey, they're trying to portray more success than they really have, and therefore they're closed off to learning from people who really could pour in, and they don't have enough mentors and coaches, and get a therapist too, that. But, again, I'm not going to tell anyone what to do, but I think that would be beneficial. I was overly open. I was an open cup. Pour in. And a lot of the advice in hindsight was wildly inaccurate, and I wish that I had, and I take responsibility for this too, because I trusted people to know what they were talking about more than they really did. There's also differences between business to business versus business to consumer versus business to government. So all different types of businesses, all different industries. The globe has changed more in the last 20 years than the previous 300. So I get it. I get that most of my coaches and mentors didn't really understand maybe me, or they didn't understand what I was trying to accomplish, or maybe they didn't understand the market or the self-improvement space. They certainly didn't. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I still implemented a ton, and I still learned a lot, and most of it was through massive pain and failure, quite frankly. But if you're overly open and you are listening to everyone, gain some trust issues. Let's bring up some trust issues here. If you're super closed off and you're trying to pretend to be more successful than you are, and you're really guarded, you might want to increase the humility and the curiosity.
I think another, and we got to get out of here after this, but I think another attribute of somebody who's very coachable is understanding their own core values. I think that's very important, because the more you're aware of that, the better somebody can coach you. Oh, you don't want to work 17 hours a day? Like, that's really good to know, because the advice I'm going to give you might be different than the advice I'd give somebody else. Or even more importantly than that, some of the stuff I say will not apply to you as much as other stuff will. Even if I don't tell you to do it, even if I don't say, hey, this is advice from a coach to somebody who's trying to improve, if you're going to take pieces of my story differently, it just won't resonate with you. So, and then last thing before we go, at the end of the call, I told this person, I said, I want you to email me if you have any questions at any time. Anything I can do. I want to add value into your life, because you're going to impact people. And if I can help you impact more people, that means I impact more people. So it's that too. It's having you're going to do this with or without me. If I can help you do it better, that's awesome. That's a win-win-win-win-win-win.
And then that person wins. Think about that. Okay, so Kev wins because he learns.
Yeah.
You articulate things in a new way. You get asked questions you've never been asked. You get breakthroughs you never had before. That person wins because they get things that they get poured into in a way they've never been poured into. Now they implement more. Now they're more successful. When they're more successful, they attract other levels of success, and now you're associated with that. And then they come to you for help, and then maybe referrals, or maybe they end up a client. Like, there's something to be said for that. Now, you can also overserve at the expense of yourself, and obviously Kevin and I's voices messed up here. Like, I had a moment earlier where I'm going on a podcast after this, and I had that moment of, I'm still going to go on it, but I'm right on the line here. I really got to get some back office R&R.
I'm traveling next week, so I crossed the threshold in the week, and I said, I think I have to optimize for next week here, because I'm going to be at a podcast conference, and I need to be 100%.
Agreed.
But lessons. All right, we got to hop, because Alan does have a podcast to be on in 2 minutes. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. We are very grateful, very thankful for each and every one of you. Make sure you're subscribed if you want to get to the next level every single day. And as always, at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Talk to you soon.